Here comes Brabantio and reveal it more.
Valiant Othello, we must straight employ you against the general enemy Ottoman. I did not see you. Welcome, gentle Signor. We lacked our counsel and your help tonight.
So did I yours, good your grace. Pardon me, neither my place nor aught I heard of business hath raised me from my bed, nor doubt the general care take hold on me, for my particular grief is of so floodgate and o'erbearing nature that it engulfs and swallows other sorrows, and it is still itself.
Why? What is the matter?
My daughter, oh my daughter.
Dead? Like dead? You mean muerto?
Aye, to me, she is abused and stolen from me and corrupted by spells and medicines brought of merchant banks. For nature so prosperous to err, being not deficient, blind, or lame of sense, sans witchcraft could not.
Whoever he be that in the foul proceeding hath thus begilding your daughter of herself and you of her. The bloody book of law you shall yourself read in the bitter letter after you own sense. Yeah, though our proper son stood in your action.
Humbly I thank you, Grace. Hear this man, this Moor, whom now it seems your special mandate for the state affairs hath hither brought.
We are very sorry for it. Othello, what in your own part can you say to this?
Nothing, but this is so.
Most potent, grave, and reverend signors, my very noble and approved great masters, that I have taken away this old man's daughter, and is most true, and I have married her. The very head and front of my offending, of this extent, no more. Rude am I in my speech, and little blessed with the soft phrase of peace. For since these arms of mine have 7 years of pith. So now some nine moons wasted, they have used as dearest action in the 10th field. More than portrays to feast of broccoli in battle, and therefore a little shall I grace my cause. I'm speaking for myself. Yet be your gracious patience. I will have a round unvarnished tale deliver, and of my whole course of love, what drug, what charms, what conjunction, and what mighty magic, for such portray I am charged with, I have won his daughter.
A maiden never bold of spirit, so still and quiet, that her emotion blushed at herself, and she, in spite of nature of years of country, credit, everything, to fall in love with what she feared to look on. It is a judgment maimed and most imperfect that will confess perfection so could err against all rules of nature, and must be driven to find out practices of cunning hell. Why this should be, I therefore vouch again, that with some mixtures of powerful o'e the blood, or with some dam conjured to this effect, he wrought upon her.
To vouch this is no proof, without more wider and more overs test than these thin habits and poor likelihoods of modern seeming do prefer against him.
But Othello, speak. Did you by indirect and forced courses subdue and poison this young maid's affections, or came by a request in such fair question, as soul to soul of her death?
I do beseech you, send for the lady to the saggatory, and let her speak for me before her father. And if you do find me foul in her report, the trust, the office I do hold of you. Not only take away, but let your sentence even falls upon my life.
Fetch Desdemona hither.
Ancient, conduct them. You best know the place. And till she comes, as truthfully as the heavens, I do confess the vices of my blood. So justly to your grave ears, I'll present here, I will drive into this fair lady's love, and she is mine.
Say it, Othello.
Her father loved me, often invited me, still questions me the stories of my life from year to year, the battles, the sieges, the fortunes that have passed. I ran through it, even from my boyish days, to the moment that I have bade me tell it, wherewith I spake of most disastrous chances, of moving accidents, by flood and field, of hair braided sculpts, I the immediate deadly branch of being taken by the insolent foe, and sold to slavery of a redemption scenes and portus in my travels history. Within of Anorus vase and desert's idol, rough corals, rocks, and hills where heads touch heaven, and it had been my hand to speak. Such was the process, and the other cannibals that each other ate. The men whose heads go do grow within their shoulders, this is to hear, which Desdemona seriously inclined. But still the house affairs would draw her with stints, whichever has she chose with the hence dispatch, she'll come again with a greedy ear, devour up my discourage, which I, observing, took once a polent hour and found good means to draw from her a prayer of honest heart. That I would all my pilgrimage delay, therefore by Pierces, she have something heard, but not attentively I do conceive, and often do beguile her of her tears. And I do speak of distressful stroke, that from my youth suffered. My story began done, and she gave me for my pains a world of signs. She swore in faith, 'twas strange, 'twas passing strange, 'twas pitiful, 'twas wonderful, pitiful. She wishful she had not heard it, yet she wished that heaven had made her such a man. She thanked me, and begade me, if I have a friend that loved her. I should but taught him how to tell my story, and that I would woo her. Upon this hand I spake. She loved me for the dangers I have passed, and I love her that she did pity them. This is only is the witchcraft that I have used. Here comes the lady. Let her witness it.
Upside, inside out, she's living a vida loca. She'll push and pull you down, living a vida loca. Her lips are devil red, and her skin's the color of mocha. She will wear you out, living a vida loca. She's living a vida loca, living a vida loca. Living la vida loca, 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 living la vida loca.
I think this tale would win my daughter too. Good Barbancio, take this mangled matter at the best. Men do their broken weapons rather than use their bare hands.
I pray you hear her speak. If she confessed that she was half of the wooer, destruction on my head. If my bad blame light on the man, come hither. Gentle mistress, do you perceive in all this noble company where most you owe obedience?
My noble father, I do perceive here a divided duty. To you I am bound for life and education. My life and education both do learn me how to respect you. You are the Lord of duty. I am Israel, your daughter, but here's my husband, and so much duty as my mother showed to you, preferring you before her father. So much I challenge that I have my profess. Do to the more, my lord.
God be with you, I have done. Pleasing your grace on the state affairs, I had rather to adopt a child than get it. Come hither, more. I hear do go thee that will of my heart, which but thou hast already with all my heart. I would keep from thee for your sake, jewel. I am glad as so I have no other child, for thy escape would teach my triany to have claws on them. I have done, my lord.
Let me speak like yourself and lay a sentence, which as a rise or a step may help these lovers into your favor. When remedies are past, the griefs are ended by seeming the worst, which late on hopes depended. To mourn a mischief that is the past and gone is the next way to draw from a new mischief on. What cannot be preserved when fortune takes patience, her injury, a mockery mistakes. The rob that smiles steals something from the thief. He robbed himself that spends a bootless grief.
So let the Turk of Cyprus us beguile. We lose it not, so long we can smile. He bears the sentence well that nothing bears, but the front comfort which from thence he hears. But he hears both the sentence and the sorrow, that to pay grief must of poor patience borrow. These sentences to sugar or to gal, being strong on both sides, are equivocal. But words are words. I never yet did hear that the bruised heart was pierced through the ear. I humbly beseech you, proceed to the affairs of state.
The Turk with a most mighty perception makes for Cyprus. Othello, the fortitude of the place is best known to you, and though we have there a substitute of most allowed sufficiencies, yet opinion, a sovereign mistress of effects, throws a more safer voice on you. You must therefore content to slumber the glass of your new fortunes with this more stubborn and boisterous expedition.
The tired custom of grave sentence, this made the flurry and still crunch of war. My this driven brave bade of down, I do incense a natural and promote alaki. I find in harshness and do undertake. His present was against the Ottomites. I crave fit disposition from my wife. Do reference of place and inhabit with such accommodation and besort as levels with her braided.
If you please, be at her father's.
I will not have it so.
Nor I.
Nor I. I will not there reside to put me Papa in the patient thoughts by being in his eyes. Most gracious Duke, to my unfolding lend your prosperity here and let me find the character in your voice to assist my simpliness.
What would you, Desdemona?
That I did love no more to live with him. My downright violence and storm of fortunes may trumpet to the world my heart is humble. Even to the very quality of my lord, I saw Othello's visage in his mind, and to his heart and his valiant parts.